Okay, so we're just talking about the senses and how strong the senses are. Sense of smell, touch, taste, and hearing and sight that a horse has is way better than a human. One of the interesting things about the eyesight is that they have a different pupil to us and a different way of focusing. If you put your hand out and focus on your hand and then focus out something further away from you, it takes a couple of seconds to focus. With a horse, their eyesight doesn't work like that, so they look through either the bottom of the retina or the top of the retina. So when they're stressed, they pick up and look through the bottom. When they're down, they look through the top of the retina. That's why they move from there to there so fast, because that's the difference between life and death in a wild environment. So they go from there to there, and they straight away they're focused on what's going on around them. And that's why you often see that they could relax and all of a sudden, bang, their head's up. So it's just a good thing to know about a horse, that they see differently to us.
Wayne, can
and
I
they
just
also
ask a question?
Sure.
Sorry, because talking about sight.
Yep.
If a horse is in stable and you switch on a light or a light off,
Yep.
can it take them quite a while for their eyes to readjust?
Yes, absolutely. This is a really good question. I was just going to go down that road with that eyesight thing. Is that if you're riding down the road, for example, on a lovely sunny day, and then there's these trees, and in the summer it's like almost riding into a cave, and your horse starts to go, not so sure about that. What happens is they need to adjust to the light, and it takes them longer than us. We can adjust. You can flip a light on and off, and we can bang. We got it. They take a little longer to adjust from dark to light. So often when you're going from one to the other, normally from light to dark, once a horse trusts you and is with you and connected, it's not such a big deal. But often they'll just stop. They'll just go, oh shit, now we're going to walk into a tunnel. This is a potential ambush situation for a horse, because they don't think like us. We go, silly horse, come on, get going. We don't think it needs time to adjust. So really, really good question. It takes some time to adjust from dark to light. So for going into a horse box, for example, too, there's a lot of scary stuff for a horse to go into a confined space anyway, never mind if it's dark. So all those little things, if you understand those things, you can start to understand why they're behaving like they are. Why do they move their head so quickly from there to there? Because they focus through the bottom or the top of their retina accordingly.
Also, if you're jumping, that's why they lift their heads. They can't see the fence. They have no vision directly in front of them.
That's right.
So when a horse comes up to jump the fence, it lifts its head so it can see the fence in front of it.
Yeah.
So if you go up to the horse, straight on, try and pat them or whatever.
Yep.
You can't properly see them, can't properly focus right in front of it's walking.
Yeah. So really, it's all important things, and they can also obviously, I don't know if most people know this now, that they can hear your heartbeat from 4 or 5 feet away. They can actually hear it. Yep.
Is the focus from the bottom of their retina better then?
Further, yeah, distance. So
Okay.
from here they can see further.
But from the top they can't see as much?
Yeah. So when the head's down, they can't see as far, obviously.
Okay.
So they're focusing down here. So they can see the grass and what's going on here. So this is close vision. That's far vision. So if
And
you
they
walk,
can't, it's like one part of the eye for each?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And it switches quite quickly. That's why they move. If they're really worried about it, it'll come up real fast. If they're not, it'll come up slowly, and they'll munch, and then they'll put their head down and up again. They can have a look around and then down again. So yeah, it goes from one to the other. So important to understand. Okay, this is Erin. Erin came to us about 6 months ago now. Bought her down south. No, sorry, up north, I should say, opposite direction. Off a farm. She's a homebred. She's registered as the English sport horse. So I hadn't heard of an English sport horse until this one. So she's crossed with an Irish sport horse, a Connie, and an English thoroughbred. Unfortunately, she lost a bit of condition. She's picking up again, but she kind of went through the stage, and she became. When I looked at her, she was quite pretty quiet, and she'd stay in the field, and we spent a bit of time. We didn't do a lot with her, but since getting her home, I can see why the owner sold her now, because she's got quite a lot of issues. She can get really stressed. So we're treating that at the moment, and her condition, she had really bad rain scald. Her hooves are in a terrible condition. So she's been a lot of the time that we've been rehabilitating her and giving her a chance to get better. She's not lame anymore, which is a good thing. We do ride her, but we're working on her groundwork and just getting her back into condition. So she's done a bit of work with us, but not a huge amount of work with us. And also the last sort of couple of weeks or so, she's been being a bit grumpy with us as well, just turning around and not be, not really wanting you in her space at times, which it wasn't like her at all. So there's been a change in the dynamic with her. Also, she has other horses coming and going, so that can also affect her and her stability and her state of mind. So yeah, we'll do a little bit of work with her. I'm just going to do some groundwork with her. One of the things I wanted to demonstrate with her today is being able to send your horse around you in a smaller circle. We started off with bigger circles, and then we started to make those circles a little smaller, get the horse to engage with us, and just to relax and release and bend and be able to do a circle around us with a relaxed position. This can take ages to do. Some horses will just drop into it quite quickly, but it can take a lot of time just to get your horse to start to bend and focus and connect and be able to trot a circle in a relaxed position. See there.
How old are you?
She's 6. She's become a little bit hormonal lately. So we're working on that, but with a little bit of work we get her in a better place. But she's never had a crowd before. So we're just gonna get her used to the crowd. Not that she didn't seem particularly bothered by you guys all being here, but she did have a little look. She's quite relaxed about it all. So first of all, I'm looking for a nice, easy circle. What I'd like to be able to do with my horse when I do these circles is not to have to hold on to the rein. So if our horse can go around me nice and soft and calm, and I don't have to pull on it, and it doesn't have to pull on me. So if I can do that and get it to start to walk, trot and canter around me in a nice easy circle, then I'm getting somewhere. To start with, we've got to hold on because they might pull against us and find that softness. So when you're sending the horse around you, you don't want to be moving your feet too much to start with, and you want to set your hand up so that if she pulls on it, she can find relaxation and release. Send her around here. I'm not sure if it's her first, as far as I know, it's her first cycle. So I think that's what's changed her hormonally. She's had a little bit of a change. So that's why I've got a little bit of that aggressive sort of side of her coming out every now and again. So we'll see how she copes with the crowd and whether she can relax and release. You can just give me a clap. I just wanted to see how she responds to that. Oh, that's scary. So it's going to take a little bit of work just to get it to focus and to connect with me. That clapping we will work on a little bit later. So I'm just going to send her around, just get her to move her feet a little. Just warm her up. So important that you warm your horse up. So I do a fair amount of just straight line walking with my horse, getting the horse to take the lead a little bit sometimes so that I'm walking behind my horse to take the lead, or she's following me, so I can do both. So I need to warm her up and make sure that she's nice and warm before I start to do these exercises, and also that she's focusing. My goal here would be to just get her to drop her head a little. And by being consistent here with my hand, she should start to pick up and slow down so I can transition my canter, my walk and trot. And also my concentration and focus. Not really focusing that well at the moment. So we want want to be able to send your horse around you left and right, backwards and forwards, walk, trot, and eventually a nice canter. Normally she's a lot more connected with me. Let's see what we get today. We've been working a little bit on liberty too, but just the basics to start with. And just get some relaxation here. So once she starts to work with us, that aggressive side that's sort of coming out now, since it dissipates, it starts to fade away a little bit. But it's an interesting change in behavior, so always be aware if your horse is changing in behavior, what's going on. Firstly, is it physically okay? Is there anything wrong with it physically? Like with her, I think she may have, because she was quite stressed out at one point, she may have developed some ulcers. So treating the ulcers, but what's the cause of the ulcers is more the point. Why is my horse stressed? Why is it getting ulcers? And often what we're doing is we're treating the ulcer. We're not treating the why it's happening. And a lot of time it's stress related. And she can get quite stressed out. And her boyfriend left not so long ago, so we have horses coming in and out for training. And she got really connected with a gelding, and after that she wasn't very happy. Which tells me I need to develop a stronger relationship with her, because this is our life together, you know. Come on. So just by allowing my body language, picking up my body language, you can use a cue. You can use a click. Yeah. Pick up your walk, trot, and canter. You see how it's dropping a little? So that's my goal here, just to get her. She can just walk around. And often we use, I see people using bungees and different methods of tying the horse down so they can get it to relax and drop its head down and release and work from underneath. So she was used to working with a high head carriage upside down. It may even affect the sacroiliac, especially with young race horses and that. There's a lot of problems with the sacroiliac because they're working upside down, so head up in the air instead of nice and low and relaxed. So it's something that we're working towards. It also helps with your liberty, developing your liberty, just to do those smaller circles and getting the horse to connect with you nicely. Let's see how she feels about this. There you go. There you go. So it's going to get it to bend. So that's what we were talking about just now, just getting your horse to bend and focus. So good now that she's not really focused, she's looking over there, but it's going to get it to bend and focus on me. Yeah. And then just get that relaxation that I'm looking for. So when I sit on my horse, before I set off, I wanted to drop her head and relax and release before I set off and do anything. There's a nice big yawn. That's okay. It's okay. Okay. So I want this as soft as possible so I can get it to bend and release and stand still. You see how she starts to relax a little. And drop her head down. So this part of the training is really vital to when I sit on her, because I want the same reaction. I want a nice calm horse. I don't want a horse out there worrying when I get on that things are going in the wrong direction if she's getting stressed. So just being able to pick up and bend. Once I get this working nicely, then I can bend on either side. Plus I can also get a hind quarter yield with a bend. So you should see that eye start to soften, the eyes start to blink, the ears sort of come back, and then she's gone again. You done it? So this is a really important part of my process of training a young horse, is that I can. So if she picks up and she's not as soft as she normally is because she's a little bit worried about what's going on around her. Oh, there we go. Okay, can we try a little clap and see? So this will be good for when we do demos and shows, just to get her through that clapping and worrying about what's going around you. Often you'll do your work at home and you get to the show and there's all this energy and noise and stuff going on and clapping, and the horse will react to that sort of thing. Yeah. Okay, so ground tie here. So she's been doing a bit of work with all this sort of stuff, being able to relax, release, ground tie, move around her. So if you can do this anywhere, not only at home, but if you can do this at the show, if you're able to get your horse to stand still and relax like that, that's quite something. It's not easy to do. But if you spend enough time practicing and connecting with your horse, it's possible. It's all possible. I'm just going to help her with a bit more relaxation here, just a bit of a rub here, a bit of a touch here, a bit of a rub around the nose, and then a little bit of release here. She's holding a bit of tension, so I just want to help her release that tension. So I just touch the side of the gum with my finger. It doesn't have to be hard or anything like that, it's nice and soft. Just see if we can get a yawn out of her. It takes her a bit of time just to let go. She holds on to that tension a bit. Good. Okay, so we're just going to come back again, start to send her around a little bit again. I'm going to use my stick here, just to get her to respond a little more, focus on me a little bit. So she might not drop her head as much because you've got a crowd here, but my goal today was to get her to walk and trot a circle here in a relaxed position, which is right there, without the worrying about what's going on around her. Let me do a direction change here. Start to get my horse to turn and pick up that rein, and bend and turn, and do a circle. You might find her head will come up when she comes towards you and go away from you. The head comes down a little. So that's just showing me that she's pretty relaxed, mostly relaxed. See if I can get to change direction. Foot, foot. Slowly I can decrease the circle, get it smaller and smaller. And just get my horse relaxing and be able to trot a circle. Also be able to change direction. And then from here we can go to double line or to a long line. So we can send her around us to the long line or send her forward. Get her responding and relaxing here. Slow trot. now she finds the pressure on the rope there, and then she'll drop. You see that? So it's been a lot of time just getting them to soften, be able to change direction. Okay, so with the sending the horse around you left and right and getting to walk and trot and canter, the goal is that I can get her to do that in a relaxed position. That's my goal. So it takes quite a bit of work. What you don't want to be doing is lunging with a whip, chasing your horse around, and the horse is in fear mode, or flight mode, and you're chasing it around with a stick and making her do these things, which you see quite a lot. So there's nothing wrong with lunging, but if it's done with connection and understanding, then it'll work. If it's done with fear and chasing the horse around with a stick, you're going to have problems. And I see it a lot. I see a lot of that being chased around with a stick, and it's sad really to see the horse treated like that, because they don't need that. What they need is repetition of the same thing and given the opportunity to learn. Any questions on that? I'll take a question. How many of you can do that? How many of you can send your horse around in a nice little circle with a relaxed head chase? Try a little closer here. Come on, darling. Slowly but surely, you get that nice and easy. And there I can start to build that top line muscle. Slowly but surely. And then when I ride her, I'll be looking for the same things. I can draw. And I can also relax. So giving your horse a chance to think about what they're doing, to interpret it, and to get some relaxation around it. Let's try here. I'm going to try a little clap in a sec. Just get it to relax. Good girl. So from here I'm going to go into my ridden position and see if I can get it to bend and flex and relax. So there she drops, I'm going to release. So if I pick up my rein and she drops and releases, I'm going to give that to her. So there's a difference between if I pick up my rein, I want you to drop. So I'll let her go. And we'll ask for a bend here. Come on. So the bend doesn't have to be right round every time, but I want to be able to bend anything, you know, from a 5-degree bend and release to right around and touch my toe. Come on. And I want that to be as soft as possible. She's a little distracted with the crowd in front of her, so she's not as soft as she normally is, but still in a pretty good place. Okay, just try another little clap. See? Good girl, thank you. And then I'm just going to pick up my bend here and just see if I can get to relax again. So this is my key to relaxation, being able to flex and bend. And she's not really bending there, so I'm going to ask her to bend a bit more. And release. Good girl. And clap again.
When you're asking them to bend, are you asking them to bend without any tension on the rope, or can you have the tension on the rope?
Ideally, I just want to pick up the rope and say bend, please, and I'll bring my hand around, and that I don't want to be pulling on them, but I might put a little bit of pressure on and hold to start with, especially to start with.
Right.
So if I come out here and I'm not getting a bend there, I'll just put a little bit of pressure there. She's dropping, so I'll release there. So she's releasing to the pressure. If I pick up here and just, hey, come on. I just put a bit of pressure on there and hold. She's already given me a drop, but I do want it to flex too. So there, so with as little as possible, I'll be picking up this bend. Come. So there, it's nice and soft. And once I get a bend, also I can start to release and get her just to hold the bend. Just relax a little. Okay. So The answer to the question is as little as possible. So if I can get it without even picking up any pressure, my goal is,
That's your goal though, but when
My
you're
goal.
training, you might have to put more pressure
yeah,
on.
you might have to start off with a little bit of pressure.
Yeah.
It's the same with the bit too. That bit pressure, I want to have a little pressure on the mouth as possible, because with anything there's already pressure there. Whether it's a bit or a bitless bridle or a halter, there's already pressure here. They can feel that. They can feel a fly touch them.
Yeah.
So you literally have to be as gentle and soft as a fly. Because they can feel that. Just that there, she can feel that. Just a touch. I might ask for a bit more. I like it to bend it. And relax. Still a little grumpy with me. Okay. And relax. We'll just send her around a little bit and just see if she'll come around and relax again. And then I can start to ask for a bit of a bend so I can push that hind quarter out. So do you see there, I just asked for a bit more of a bend and a slightly smaller circle. So you don't want to do this unless you've done the basics first, which is being able to send them around you on this line, at least sort of 10 to 12 foot away from you, before you start to bring that circle down and get smaller and smaller. Because if you, depending on what discipline you do, but if you're cutting cows or barrel racing, it doesn't matter what you do, you need a turn, you need a stop, and you need a backup. And you want a relaxed horse with a relaxed frame. And that's our goal, is to get that into the right position. A lot of time I see people riding around with their horse with quite a lot of pressure on the horses, running around like this with its head in the air. So the goal is to get that head down nice and low. It takes a bit of practice, a bit of time. Okay, so it's going to work on that a little bit more, and just see if I can get her, use my stick a little, just see if I can get it to trot a little closer. Start around there. So my cue is a double smooch. And then it's like this down. So we haven't done too much of the hind quarter coming around, but we're going to ask her to bend a little. So once you get good at this, you can start to do straight lines. It doesn't always have to be circles, but the idea is that I can start to send her around. Eventually I can do that without my rope or my halter on, so she'll connect with me. She's not quite doing that yet, but she'll connect with me, and I can send her around in a circle, backwards, forwards, left or right, without any of this on her. It takes work through this first. It takes time. Okay. Ask her to relax a bit. Daisy, do you mind just closing that gate there? So here, being able to change direction. That's right. Pick up my gate. So I can start to do, once I've got it working nicely at a walk, I can start to do the trot, so I can change direction. Pick up that gate. Have a little clap, please. Okay. So that's what happens when you're in the ring, isn't it? All of a sudden you're going in nicely, and then all of a sudden it's gone. So that's the preparation side of it. Desensitizing, getting her back again. Let's try again and see. Now she wants to stick real close to me. I'm going to do a couple of changes, just bring her back to me. So what I've seen happening is when the horse does that, especially when you're sitting on it, what a lot of us do is panic. Panic, pick up the rein and go, whoa, like this. And squeeze the horse, pull on its mouth. So put all this energy into the horse and the horse will just bomb it off or buck, drop its shoulder and go. So that's where this is really the important part about all this is, can we relax and release again? If the horse does shoot off on me, the first thing I'm going to do is get a bend. So I'll disengage the hind quarter and bend her. So I've got her here. So when my horse goes, I'm out of here, this is my handbrake right here. So I can get the horse in. And she might not stand still. She might still be moving her feet. I'll have as little energy as possible through my legs and my heel. I won't have my heel on. And I'll just really quickly pick up a bend and just disengage those hind quarters. And she might move. I'll just hold that until she stops and then I'll let her go. When she moves again, then I'll pick it up and bend her again. Okay, let's try another clap. So this is a very, very good exercise for her. I'm just going to pick up here and just see if she'll drop. So there, you see how she's dropping. So I'll let her go. Okay, when are they going to do it again? Good girl. Okay, another clap. Keep going. Keep clapping. Behind her. Okay, thank you. So we've got some work to do, haven't we? But the good thing is that she can come back and relax.
Yeah.
This is, this is really important that I can get her back, get her to relax. If I was sitting on her again, I'd pick up my bend, get that down again, so she can relax.
Wayne, you said she was had got quite stressed, not doing work, but have you found that the relaxation work in your groundwork has helped mirror into her managing herself?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So that's what you're ultimately striving for, isn't it? So that the horse can manage itself emotionally, regulate itself emotionally, despite what's going on around it, and being able to stay calm in ourselves. What can you see, darling? And I'm okay if my horse looks around, as long as I can bring her back and relax and release. Go. So let's see if she'll let me flex it from the other side. So eventually I can flex left and right. No. Get my horse to flex left and right on either side. So this has to be 100% before I even sit on my horse. If I can't do this, I can't do a circle, or I can't flex and bend my horse, then I won't really even want to sit on it until I can get that. So I'm going to try a bend here and then pick up my outside rein just so we get it to drop a little more. Not that she really needs to drop more, but if I wanted that, I could start to put in my second rein, my outside rein there, and just pick up my outside rein and drop. See if we get some licking and chewing. So one of the things you can do is put your phone on or something and put clapping on, or the motorbike, the noises. You can do that and get them used to that kind of thing. That's what our clinics do too. We do that at our clinics. Bring the bicycle out, all those scary things, bring them out and get the horse used to it. And it's just it's checking where the threshold is, how much can they take, and then how quickly, or slow process, but how we can get past that threshold, and then the next threshold, and then the next threshold. You got a question?
We feel our horses are rational because I can drive a juggernaut past him. Might look at it, nothing. Just
and then you can be in the arena and the car door will slam and he's from one side to the other.
But
Oh,
just
okay.
think of something
Yeah.
scary.
It's
So
like,
this is
really?
it's a classic thing. Someone the other day, I heard call it the rabbit syndrome. So you're riding along, and a rabbit pops up. You ride along, and then another rabbit pops up, and you're riding along, and the horse all the time the horse is getting a little bit more worried about what's going on around it. The key is to diffuse that situation before you even get to the pop.
Yeah,
But then what happens after the third rabbit? A butterfly flies out,
yeah,
and they're gone.
yeah.
So it's always a build up. There's always a reason for it, and whether they can cope with it is one thing, and identifying when it's escalating is the next thing. So as soon as it starts to escalate, I'll stop. I might do some flexing or bending, or I might do a circle. I do lots of circles because the horse relax, and that's why I practice it on the ground, because that brings back relaxation and focus. So I nip it in the bud before it gets to that point where the horse goes, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So that's the key, and recognizing that in the horses. Can you see that happening to your horse while you're sitting there? And that's the thing.
We had that same problem with Willow's feet this week, didn't we? Just trying to get her to have it, like recognising that she didn't like it, stepping back, bringing her back
That's
to
it.
relax,
Yep.
then going in, stroking her in a different area before going to those feet.
That's it. So you got a threshold. No, I don't. I'm not happy with that. Step back. Start again. So if you're going down, if you're going down the leg. If you're going down the leg, is to notice when the horse starts to worry about it. The first thing that I do though is I take my rope or a rope, and I get my horse used to being touched around the leg first with a rope. I use my training stick, rub them all over. Is that working? Then the next would be my hand. Can I rub it all over? And it's the same thing, whether they can cope with it, how they're coping with it. Step back. If they can't, if you're riding around the arena and there's a crowd and they can't cope with it, what do?
We tell the crowd
Well,
to
the
go
last
away.
thing you want to do is go, come on, let's go, come on,
Get up and go home.
spirit. And the horse goes, I can't do it. So that's the last thing you want to do. You want to take the time it takes. So, for example, if we rode around here and she was going, I'm not so sure about what's going on over here, but she kept going forward past it, then I'd be happy with it. But if she's starting to get worried, the next time I come round and then I ask you to clap, I'll probably be gone. So I want to try and get all that done now before I even sit on the horse. So it's like a safety check. Can she cope with clapping, noise, flags, all those things around her? But also being able to find the relaxation point, get her to relax. She normally yawns a lot more. So she's seen a couple of yawns, but she's still holding on to that anxiety, but because she's used to coming in here and there's nobody, or there might be another horse or whatever, but not a crowd like there is here. Okay, so let's just have a look and see if she'll. We're just starting to start with getting her to start to do some liberty, to move around me.
Hello.
Hey, Daddy. Something new.
Looks good, she says.
That's all right. Familiar, Nick?
Keep at it, then eventually they'll say, this is hard work, can I stop please?
See if I could pick her up again. Obviously she's drawn towards the gate here. Just see if I can, so when you want to pick them up, she comes over. Yeah, I'm just going to walk towards the hind quarter and just get it to turn and face me to start with. She's been doing quite good at this. But you guys arrived today. So the dynamic's a little different. But you could see when I first started that draw, so I can draw her, get her to come towards me. I can draw her here, see if she'll come around me. So to start off with my liberty, I'm drawing and just a little push from behind so I can get her to start to pick up what I'm asking her to do, where I'm going with it all, so I can step in here, get her to come towards me, and then come around. Sorry, Dave. If I point to the hind quarter, get the hind quarter to come round. So we're just starting off this phase of being able to send her around. Believe it or not, I was able to trot her the other day around me in a little circle. But I don't know about today. Leave the hind quarter. Girl. Hey, hey. So you can see the start of a bit of liberty, and liberty is a fabulous thing to do with your horse because it builds that connection. So I can now work with my horse. Eventually I can drop my stick. I don't need my stick, but just for now I need my stick just to help me with getting her forward a little bit. It's her choice right now to go, so she can head off or she can work with me. So in spite of her little bit of don't touch me stuff, she still feels a connection with me. She's still able to work with me a little bit. It's interesting to see a change in her dynamic though, and it's an important thing to remember with your horses, that dynamic, how is she feeling, is my horse okay?
They are funny.
Okay, I'll just try and run. Walk in, she looks at me, and the hind quarter. See if I can bring her back again. Working at liberty can keep you really fit. And if you've got a more of a confined space, it does help with just getting, keeping them closer and just them understanding. But it all comes from working on the line or the groundwork, being able to get it to turn and move around you. So, let's try one more time. If she wants to move away from me or walk away from me, I might just try and draw her, or I might move the hind quarter. Once you get it working, you can start to play with it. You can move it a little quicker. You get them to move around you a little quicker. So let's see here if I can get her to come back again. So just by changing my body language, my intention, because she was about to walk away there, wasn't she? So if I say, no, come to me, what we often do is we go, that's my horse. And it gets faster and faster. So just getting them to respond. Keeping it calm to start. Any questions? Yes, Sharon?
Wayne, I've got a question about left and right flexing.
Yep.
So when you're teaching your horse to flex, obviously they're not going to be at all light to start with, so there's going to be resistance on that rein.
Yep.
Do you wait until they give before you release?
Yep.
Yeah.
So the key is not to pull though. So
Yeah.
make sure you're not pulling. You
Right.
just set the pressure and just wait.
Okay.
It's like when you're teaching them
So
to back
even
up,
if it's just like that, a little
Yeah.
bit, give.
just a little bit of
Right,
pressure and
okay.
hold, yeah. Because you know they can feel a fly touch them, so that much pressure is plenty.
Right, okay.
You know, you don't want to get over past that point where you're starting to pull, especially if they're starting to pull back. She's a little bit, she's not as soft and as easy as she is normally. I think it's because there's a bit going on here. But just a touch with that and hold until she moves there. You see that slight movement?
Right, and then just gradually increase that bend.
Yep. Yep. Try this way. You've been tall for this. Come on. Okay, so we need to go back to that. You go here. And you can start to ask her to hold a bit longer. So get the bend and release and just hold. So if you want to increase the amount of time that they can bend, it's just a hold. There's no pulling. It's easy. Okay. To answer your question?
Yeah.
We'll go back here. This one. I'm going to hold here. Release.
So it should get to a point then where they get so light you just have to lift that rein.
Just pick your hand up and
and
go,
it'll
yep,
come round.
I got it.
Yeah.
And if I want to do a circle too, I'll just pick, especially on a young horse, I'll be nice and wide, just pick up a rein, get a bend and just be able to do a circle without pulling back on you, and just soft. So it all starts here. It actually all starts here on the front with pressure and release here.
Yeah.
That's where it starts, and then you can teach them to back up, go left, go right, bend, and do all that for you. Or just picking up my rein and getting her to drop, so just picking up here. Pick up a bend maybe. So if I pick up there, she'll start to drop that down. Good girl. Okay, another clap for her. I think she's done good.
Oh,
Almost.
definitely.
Okay, we're going to try one more clap. Good girl. So she's done quite well today. Pleased with her, especially with the crowd. We're going to have a little draw, darling. We've got some really good prizes to give away today.
Thank you for watching.